This is bull.
You don't want to infect your families, do you? You were all exposed to a student here who was taken to the hospital due to COVID. Yes.
We were there, and Token was actually taken to the hospital because you guys shot him.
Yes, due to COVID.
It was COVID related.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's some funny shit.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and last night was the 1-hour South Park special, and they held almost nothing back. Now, I will admit, the episode itself had a ton of laughs. It probably wasn't their best episode ever, but after 25 seasons, I mean, it's still pretty darn decent. I suppose I'm only judging it by their standard of amazing episodes. Of course, Make Love Not Warcraft will still be one of my all-time favorites.
Oh god, I'm gonna have diarrhea again. You can't go to the bathroom, you're stacking Sunder Armor.
Nonetheless, and look, speaking of episodes, that episode made fun of neckbeard World of Warcraft players, something I might know a little bit about, and it's even more funny. Yet, there were plenty of people who did not find last night's episode funny. Probably most of all, Disney, I'm guessing. And I'm not going to give you the full ad read, but I'm going to tell you that I have an offer that ends very soon with Displate. If you use the link in the pinned comment below, if you like South Park, they have a ton of South Park Displates to choose from. And if you use my link, you can save up to 38% off. I think if you buy 4 or more, you get 38% off, and then you also save no matter what you get. So if you want to support the channel and you want to get some cool art for your wall, please consider using the link in the pinned comment and getting your Displate today. South Park mocks Disney, cops, and Trump while addressing the COOF in its special. South Park wasted no time taking a swing at essentially everyone and everything that made headlines from 2020. From the COOF to Trump to the PDs, Disney, and chin diapers. The hour-long episode, the first of its kind for the long-running Comedy Central cartoon, mainly focused on the lockdown and the possibility that Randy was perhaps to blame after visiting China last season. The show was famously banned in China last season for its critiques of the country's government. As far as the PD, the show had officers teaching South Park Elementary due to the fact that they were defunded. While teaching the class, the police fire on Token, the show's African-American character, and Celebrate. The former officers run the school like it's a prison, all encompassing levels of modern day life with lockdown. As for Disney, South Park mocked the issue that the company is facing, which included Mickey Mouse screaming on the phone that Disneyland should be sold since no one can visit the theme park as it is currently closed under state regulations. South Park mocked Trump, Mr. Garrison, yet again, highlighting the president's apparent complete lack of concern about the COOF in the United States and the death toll. Dr. Anthony Fauci character also appeared, telling the town to wear their masks properly over their noses and mouths, which was mocked by some as they preferred wearing chin diapers, the mask below the mouth. Ultimately, the Trump character ruins everything, looking to the camera and saying, "Big election coming up. Don't forget to get out and vote." Now, there was, I would say a fair amount of fire for everybody. There were some things that I took issue with being mischaracterized, but the thing is, you have to be able to laugh at yourself, the opinions that you carry, if you're going to laugh at everyone else's. The whole idea that this whole thing about Trump and Mexicans, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe I missed the context there. Maybe there was a news cycle about that. But nonetheless, many have characterized the Comedy Central series as having increasingly libertarian or conservative bent in recent years, particularly as this ripped into political correctness. Wednesday's episode unequivocally blasted the president for his handling of the COOF. Midway through the episode, Trump, played by Mr. Garrison, who has served as a show stand-in for Trump since season 19, is shown lounging around in the Oval Office, refusing to take urgent calls from the CDC, FDA, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. Stan Marsh manages to get through and explains that Trump/Garrison might be able to stop it if he visits the town of South Park. The president refuses, noting that he made a promise to the American people to get rid of all the Mexicans. This was kind of a weird bent, but whatever. It's their show. Almost all of the episode was pretty funny. You're just going to sit there and do nothing, Stan asks, bewildered. I'm actively not doing anything, Trump replies. You can expletive and die. The chart shown isn't accurate. But blacks and Latinos are disproportionately impacted by the coof. At the end of the episode, a cure is finally found, but Trump blasts a scientist with a flamethrower to prevent the cure from being released. In an unusual moment of advocacy for the ever-facetious series, Trump reminded viewers to vote this fall. The show took on everything else. Well, by the way, when Hollywood tells you to vote, they're not really telling you to vote. They're telling you to vote for their guy.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump. It's no longer down with Trump. It's Trump.
I don't know that South Park has a history of like shilling for one candidate over another, so I don't think that you could take this one issue, this one time they said get out and vote and say, oh, they're bending the knee, they're just like every other Hollywood celebrity. I don't know. 24 seasons, I think, has given South Park a little bit more leeway. It also takes on, so Disney was also a target, with the Coof's origins traced to Mickey Mouse's R-rated trip to China with Randy March. By the way, they hook up with a bat, if you know what I mean by hookup. You made a deal with the devil when you sold your Mulan stuff to China, and you told me how great China was and how I should suck that D. Disney has come under fire for filming part of its movie in the same province where China has forced millions of Muslims into internment camps. Other targets were hit as well, such as panic buying, which was funny, improper mask wearing, social distancing, and Zoom sessions. Cartman was, again, the star of the show, in my opinion.
I can't see my friends. I can't even go to ski. How I miss Kyle.
Sweetie, it's all going to be over soon. They're actually talking about school opening up again in a few days.
What the are you talking about?
This says here, and I thought it was actually a good quote, I can't take these shutdowns anymore. I'm scared what it's doing to me. He says, I'm looking for who to blame, saying I'm just trying to help people make myself feel better. The truth is, I just want to have fun again. I wanted to see that I could go out in the world and do things I used to do, but I can't. I'm not any better, and I don't care any more than anyone else. I did all this just because I want my life back. I just want my life back. Ultimately, hitting home, I think. You have them making fun of the sales and the capitalism surrounded the lockdowns. Ultimately, it was a worthwhile episode. This show doesn't really rate it very high. This Den of Geek gives it a 2.5. Quick back of the napkin math on major headlines from last season's South Park finale aired on December 11th, 2019. You had the impeachment trial, all sorts of other stuff. In a year that gets bleaker with each passing day, I don't see it that way. One can be forgiven if topical humor isn't landing in the moment. And with South Park's penchant for trying every storyline to the flavor of the week, for better or worse, returning amidst the pandemic was going to be one of the biggest challenges the show has faced since post 9/11. The fears are different from 2020 to November 2001. The bus stop is empty. The enemy isn't hiding. All sorts of things. The degree to which something like this can even land is going to be very wildly from person to person. And it's hard to fault anyone who found the episode in poor taste from start to finish. In poor taste? Get out of here. I also imagine a lot of people are feeling like Stan and Butters do, isolated from their friends and missing the state of normalcy 2020 has ripped from us. To that end, the return of South Park will be cathartic for some folks and maybe a welcome distraction for others, particularly as appointment television has been rare for much of the lockdown. Where I'm standing, it was exactly a middling experience we've come to expect from South Park, which will start its 24th season. If you tuned in, you were treated to dark humor and intense and disturbing subject matter. I mean, like, I don't want to spoil an episode if you haven't seen it. But not everyone was a big fan. You obviously see some quotes like this. This South Park special was horrible. Some of the stuff they said and did took it way too far. I'm low-key annoyed at it and disturbed. It was good, and I've been watching South Park for years, but the joke about animals hooking up and Token was a little too far. Could have done without it. You haven't been watching South Park for years if you think anything they do takes things a little too far. You can also see here, spoiler, I know they like to push boundaries, but tonight's episode with Token, the celebratory fist bump afterwards somehow feels worse than when they later machined, won't go that way. I can't read half of this stuff. Stop watching when you kept punching down on trans persons. Trump and Rowling are bad enough. So they definitely had their share of meltdowns across the internet. Did you watch the 1 hour South Park special? I think the overall reaction was probably okay, because I think they took two very clear stands, and both of them were kind of against President Trump, which I think shielded them from a lot of the backlash from some of the other more subtle shots they had. Overall, the episode was fine. I thought it was an interesting road to take. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.